Hi guys, what's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Conqueror's Blade. So today I want to talk about optimizing resource collection in the open world. So just to very quickly clarify what I mean. So things like collecting from the cotton fields, the paddocks, the wood. How do you get the most resources per gather? What's the most efficient way of doing that? And more specifically, what units are the most efficient way of doing that? So let's just head over to the Watchman and we'll clarify this a little bit further. So each unit has a labour amount. So you can look at each unit's labour when you sort of click take them. You tell me that every time you get an idea. So it's 5.12 for the sword militia. But as the higher tier of the units you get, so something like the prefecture guards and elite sword unit is only 3.9, so really not very good. And then you get to some of the worst things like the cavalry and stuff, 2.3. Because they're really not designed to be farmers, they're not designed to cut down trees. These are heavy combat units. But serfs are one of the more units that are designed for resource collection. These have a base of 6.4, which is actually really quite high. And of all the peasant units, is actually the most efficient to use. So that's a level 1 serf and it gets 6.4. But if you pick the right upgrades for a serf, you'll see that once you get to level 7, that goes up to 11.2. So this is now about 5 times the amount of labour that a cavalry unit gets. So now you can start to see that if you were to take 5 units of serfs, then you're going to be significantly more efficient, massively more efficient than if you were to take 5 units of cavalry. So this is kind of what I'm on about. And now let's just quickly hop out into the barracks and I want to show you a little bit about the upgrade paths that the serfs go through. That was the wrong button. I actually got off my horse. So if you have on a level 1 serf, as I say, they get 6.4 labour, which you can see down here. And they get the full tech tree to be available to them, to their veterancy points. But you have to pick the right ones. Obviously, you have to have the starting one. That's just a requirement to unlock any of them. Then if you come down here to the bottom tech tree, you'll see some of the really interesting bonuses. So increase resource collection by 20%. And that actually means increased labour by 20%. It's not particularly well described, but that means increased labour by 20%. Mustering, add 4 more soldiers to the unit. Also increases the labour because you're increasing the total number of people in the unit. Food consumption, that's an irrelevant one really. But then 4 more soldiers to the unit, again increasing labour. And then finally, at level 7, you get increased resource collection by 20%, increasing labour 20% again. And that's why it goes from 6.4 to almost doubling to 11.2. It makes a huge difference. That's as most as you can get. Once you get to level 7, there's no other real benefits that you can get. If you really wanted to unlock a few of the combat ones, you could. But there's not really a lot of benefit to it. This is what you really need to be focusing on with these units. So that's why it makes these the most efficient. So for me, personally, I've got 3, and I've got rid of all my other peasant units. There's no point doing this with tenant farmers or village watchmen or woodcutters, because while they're fine and they do have a better base labour than a lot of units, serfs are the most efficient ones to use. So yeah, you should be having serfs. Get rid of your tenant farmers, get rid of your woodcutters, just have serfs because they're the best unit to do it with. Ultimately, I'm going to be heading for 5 level 7 serfs. So then, once I go back to the open world, I can take 5 those level 7 serfs and I should be getting close to around 60 labour, which is going to just mean that I'm going to be harvesting just vast amounts of resources per gather. And you pay the same bronze cost to have 1 gather. The daily yield is 1,000, no matter what labour you have. So if I have 1 unit of cavalry, I still pay that 1,000 bronze, or whether I have 1 unit of cavalry or 5 units of level 7 serfs. So there's really no disadvantage to having much more on the labour front, to having all those serfs, because it just makes you so much more efficient. You're just really optimising not only your collection, you're going to collect things a lot quicker, but effectively you're optimising your bronze costs, because you're still only paying 1,000, but instead you're getting 10 times as many resources as if you took 10 crap units. So it really makes sense to do this. The only one thing to consider is it does take up a lot of barrack slots. Obviously if you had 5 full, then that's going to take up 5 of your 15 base barrack slots that you get once you've leveled up sufficiently. I guess my only thing I would say is if you were ever going to spend any money on this game, It probably is one of the few bits it is worth €5 spending. Just to get those the expansion permits. They do it as like a package for $4.50. It is kind of useful because 15 is just kind of not quite enough slots to make this work optimally. So yeah, I'm going to be getting another 2 serfs, but they take a little bit of a while to level up. So I've still got 2 more to level up to level 7 yet anyway myself. But it kind of gives you an idea. So just before we finish, I just want to quickly hop out into the open world, and we're going to do it with a level 1 serf, see how many resources we get from a level 1, and then we'll switch it over and go exactly to the same site and collect them with my level 7 serf, just to see what the improvement is from that 6.4 labour to the 11.2, just to kind of demonstrate how much of an impact labour has on how many resources you get. So I shall see you all in the open world. So we are out at the logging camp with just our level 1 serf. So we only have that 1 unit with that 6.2 labour. So let's just do a quick gather here and see what we get in terms of timber. And that will give us our baseline for our labour. Oh, 6.4, sorry. So let's gather resources here. Obviously, as usual, it takes 30 seconds. So we'll see how much wood we get from this in our cart. Then we'll go back and swap to our tier 7 serfs. And we'll see what the increase is. And this will kind of hopefully highlight how important labour actually is in the amount of resources you get when you gather. Because the more labour you have, the amount of resources you gather just absolutely shoots up exponentially. And while there is a slightly bit of a random element to this, there is that sort of, it's a bit of an average, at least this will give you a basic idea of what we're going to get. So we've got 1,645 ash timber and 3 linseed oil. We're kind of ignoring the rare drops. So let's go and swap out our units and see what we get with our much higher labour unit. So we have made our way back to the same logging camp. Nothing else has changed other than the fact that I've switched from my level 1 serfs to my vastly upgraded level 7 serfs. As you can see, our labour is now 11.2 rather than 6.4. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. Let's start gathering these resources and we'll kind of see the quantities we get. And you can just see immediately from the ticks coming in that it is so much higher already. You know, instead of being pretty low, we're starting to get 300s. We were getting sort of 160s, 170s. So let's kind of see what our final scores be. I'm just going to be around the 3,000 mark. And you can see even the rare resource drops are much higher. And this is going to prove the point that it is so much more efficient getting high labour units, particularly when you're resource gathering, particularly around friendly areas. Look at that. I mean, pretty much case in point where we are actually over double. So imagine if you think back to the start of the video when I said if you had 5 serfs, all level 7, your labour is going to be around 60. So, you're going to be gathering for this, you're going to be gathering like 15,000. You're going to be filling almost half your cart in one resource. It'd be like 16,000 timber if you had 5 units of serfs or level 7. So it's so much more efficient to use serfs to collect resources than it is to take just random units. And if you're just taking spear militia or something like that, you're really only doing yourself a disservice because you're paying the same bronze cost every time. It's still 1,000 to do this. Either on my daily yield or on a requisition, same price. It cost me that 1,000 whatever if I bring 1 crap unit or 5 fully leveled up serfs. So you really should be working towards those serfs. You really want to try and keep a space in the inventory for them. As I said, if you've not got that many barrack slots, then maybe it's worth just having 3 serfs to level 7 to try and balance it out. If you were ever thinking about putting any money into this game in the long term, then I think probably barrack slots are one of the things that are worth getting. Really not that expensive. I think it works out about €5. I think I paid to get enough sovereigns to get a pack of 5. So yeah, in my opinion, well worth doing. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. If you have any questions about this, do let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for lots more Conqueror's Blade content, and I shall see you all on the next video.